Hello, thank you for being here today, where I'm devoting this video to the energy of divine feminine. The divine feminine energy, because it is the feast of Mary Magdalene, this card here, the Magdalene energy, the way of the heart and the way of love, and harmonizing and balancing an equilibrium, which has come up in a session in the client this morning. We used that word in balancing and harmonizing masculine feminine energies, and also holding your truth while also holding grace and compassion for another's truth and reality, allowing the coexistence, to allow existence of various truths and realities as you hold steady in your own authentic expression and your own creative power within you, to tap in and tune in to your intuition, through your creative well and wisdom and magic, and the sacral energy in the womb space, which is very her energy, the Magdalene, and connecting to the heart in that loving expression coming through you in your creative power of being, through your vibration and frequency, through your elevated, expanded consciousness of love, and how you direct your focus as a channel, a vessel for the divine, in how you show up and how you express yourself in your voice, in your writing, in your art, in your movement, in your presence, in your action steps, in what you move towards, and how you are in community, in interactions, whether it's in your local neighborhood, with your family, with animals, with pets, with all who cross your path, with what comes your way, how you can, through your divine feminine leadership, leave others better than you found them. And that may not always be harmonious and loving. It can be through activation of truth, which we're very much experiencing in the energy astrologically at the moment of Mercury retrograde in Leo and the activation of truth. And as I was speaking with in my sessions this morning, this truth can also be the expression of a ferocious love, of unconditional love within you that is expressed within you, for you, and for life itself, and how this can be a spiritual warrior type of energy in courage and conviction and certainty of holding the truth, of expressing it unapologetically, while also removing an emotional charge to speaking truth, and truth being more a frequency and factual and an energy of an alignment, rather than being overrun by energy of emotions, and how that is truly stoic and having the energy of emotional self-mastery and allowing yourself to speak that truth. So that was coming out very clearly for me this morning in my sessions, and following on from the last video. I'd like you to honor the divine feminine within you today, the invitation for you, if you choose to, by celebrating the magic of your presence, of your vibration as a frequency, of your being over your being productive, which is masculine, the being of femininity within you. And even if you're male and you clicked on this video, you hold divine feminine energy within you. We all have both energies within us. And this is the return to the sacral, this sacred union of both harmonized within us, and how the divine feminine is rising, since it has been out of balance, since we live in the 3D reality of predominantly masculine one world in its systems and structures and organization and value system and all of this. And there's the return of the feminine in reclaiming spiritual sovereignty and reclaiming our natural magic and gifts and wisdom and medicine and creative expression, through connecting to the God force, God goddess within us, allowing ourselves to be guided by our own inner truth, our inner wisdom, our own inner magic, the natural gifts and talents that we came into this planet already embodying with in wholeness. And that return to wholeness, it allows us to fully revere, be devoted to, give reverence to celebrate the aliveness of vitality, of energy within us in our presence. It's guided to read out a page from my book, actually, which is coming soon, and it is on the rising of the divine feminine, this energy. And in a way that we feel more balanced in our creative expression and flow. Now, this is the true portal to igniting abundance, beauty, truth, harmony, love, alchemy, wisdom, magic, authentic connection, soul tribe, prosperity, life on your terms, life as you came here to live it and to be more of your heaven on earth, which is on the top, the journey into heaven on earth. The things that I've been speaking on, the journey that I have gone through, it's got some storytelling from my own experiences in navigating the pathway of, shifting from the logical linear thinking of systems into understanding consciousness and frequency, and how you can follow that pathway as an entrepreneur, a soulpreneur, as a creative, to blaze your own trail and to share your wisdom and magic with the world in a way of creating more abundance beyond you for others in impacting joy and harmony and the ripple effect vibrationally, which is a beautiful thing to see, witness, to be part of, and for your own sense of inner fulfillment, inner aliveness in the now as you build towards whatever legacy it may be that's unfolding for you in your own heart in alignment with your authentic truth. And it does honor what that journey may be for you so you can adapt it to your own introspection and your own personal journey as it unfolds for you in embodying higher frequency states and creating even better in your reality, which I'm excited about and absolutely can't wait to share more with you. But let's have a look at this page that I would, in between each chapter, there's this kind of channeled message, intuitive message that was coming through. So I'm going to one of them here. It says, I provide sacred transformation through my presence and frequency. My unique individual medicine and wisdom holds such tremendous value that there is no space for any attempts at manipulation. Only energies of the highest light and intention may connect with me and enter into my space. Higher standards naturally protect me from any lower vibrational experiences, meaning that fear, worry, doubt, confusion dissolve. I'm grateful for living from a more expanded, loving, harmonious reality, and I serve to expand it further with and through love, which is the way of Magdalene, and having the courage, the vulnerability, the ferocity, the spirit to commit to and devote to the pathway of following your heart and soul in communion with the divine, your creative expression, following your intuition and letting it guide you down new pathways of greater embodiment and expansion. Let me know if this has resonated for you. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. So far, the cards that have come out today in this energy are Anna, which is the grandmother of Jesus, and saying that you are receiving the light, laying foundations, and this is all part of the divine plan in following this way of the divine feminine energy, in tapping into your intuition and creativity, stepping away from consumption, in looking at and reading and consuming other material and getting into what you want to share, what you want to create, what you want to put out into the world, how you want to interact with others, what your truth is, what your message is, what your creative expression is. That people need your unique sound through your voice, which was mirrored to me in my session this morning through a meditative practice of how there's a certain energy in my sound. And I talked about how I have a component in this book which looks at sound, healing, frequency, music, at the power of sound, of how you have a unique sound in terms of biologically, how, the design of your body, your vocal tract, your biology, the size, the form, the tonality, everything, it cannot be replicated in exactly the same way. It's specifically unique to you, to your biology, to your energy, and to your soul frequency, that only you can express it, and how it can ignite and activate others through you expressing authentic truth. How it expands global consciousness and raises the frequency of the planet and is part of collective healing, alchemy, empowerment, expansion, acceleration of higher states, and harmony and more heaven on earth. And if you're here listening to this, you're part of that mission and vision. Really feeling that in my energy right now, for goosebumps as a confirmation. Thank you for committing and devoting yourself to that work. And there is, through the energy of the Magdalene, devotional. It's devotional in how you choose to surrender to this day by day in reverence and gratitude for the divine, and how it's a privilege. It also come up in my sessions this morning. It's a privilege to be aware of who you are and to show up as an authentic version of you in full shine, in truth and beauty, connected to the divine, channeling, expressing, sharing your gifts and magic and wisdom, being part of a creative process and journey that is evolving you, stretching you into new levels of discomfort as you move more and more away from the familiar into the unfamiliar, the unknown, working with unseen forces and magic, and becoming and stretching into more of your greatness, of more of who you know you are here to be, and who you can share yourself as being, as truth and beauty and magnificence. It also comes to me. You're connecting more with soul family. So the more that you are in your authentic expression, the more you call in and attract soul tribe and family to you. Who I was connected to this morning, and I was so grateful, like seriously, on my tippy toes, jumping up and down in excitement, connecting with those people, doing sessions together. It's such a joy and a privilege, and I'm so grateful. And if you happen to click on this video and watch this, hello and thank you. You should have this sense of aliveness within you in order to connect with more people who also appreciate and resonate with that aliveness and want to expand it. I talked about how this morning we thrive in the energy of love. Now, in the plant experiment, if you've seen this experiment of how there was a plant that was given the stimulus of positive energy and vibration spoken lovingly to. I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. I adore you. I do this with my cat all the time. And I believe that I'm encoding positivity and harmony into his energy and helping him look more radiant and magnificent day by day, that his fur is glowing, that I'm, encoding health and vitality into his energy. And we can do this. We can do this through blessing our surroundings. Bless this table. Thank you so much for this workspace that I have to work from. Back to the plant, okay, before I go off on a whole other train. Bringing something I mentioned earlier. Okay, the plant that was given the positive stimulus and energy and vibration and section and care thrived and bloomed. And another plant that was given negativity and anger and bitterness and neglect and abuse shriveled, obviously, and not to feed that energy even more. And this can also be seen in Dr. Ameto's controversial water experiments that I go into these examples in other cases or more in this book in terms of frequency. The same with water crystals that were monitored as given a positive stimulus also through frequency music, created this beautiful sacred geometry, crystallized forms of harmonic resonance. And others that were given distorted energy showed up in images that were distorted. And there's information online that say, well, this is, highly controversial and it's not proven, but there's also support of that. So take it as it resonates for you. Yet we can all agree that children that grow up constantly receiving love and care and support. I love you. You're fantastic. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. You're fantastic. I love seeing you shine. I encourage you. You can do anything. Is far more likely to thrive under those conditions than a child who is criticized, neglected, abandoned, not supported, not cheered on, and so on. And we can see that we can be conditioned by our environment and the energies that is surrounding us and so on, which is why it's so important to no longer tolerate what you do not want to feed, to cleanse your energy, to come back into what you prefer and creating your heaven on earth within you so that you can be more in a state of integrated wholeness. Also giving love to your own shadow aspects, all the inner body aspects that you might not particularly appreciate about you, because the mirror is essentially giving you the opportunity to give love to all the parts of you that you may judge or criticize or blame or shame or dismiss or avoid or abandon. That is bringing me back into integration of, oh, I see this. I hold space for myself. I witness myself. I go deep down into the alchemy of holding space and compassion and grace and love for myself, that this is truly the way of love, and feeling the emotional undercurrent and experience and allowing the depth of that. As I said in a session this morning, that someone was recounting how they felt a bit of resistance and anger to someone and communicated what they had expressed, which I had said there was a bit of sugar sprinkled on top of that as like a nice sweet version. But what really wanted to be said may be even more angry or fiery and so on. And journaling can be a great tool for helping you express and get out what you may really want to say in truth, while also maybe walking around your kitchen space and having an inner dialogue with yourself and allowing yourself to express what it is you really want to say and observing it and being aware of it and saying, I give love to this version of me. This version of me is also worthy and deserving of my love. And I'm aware that this exists. I'm aware that it's a normal part of my humanity. I'm aware that I no longer judge another for thinking or being this way, because I can see that I also have the capacity to think or feel or be this way. Take it as it resonates for you, depending on what it is. And I firmly believe that once you judge another and say, I would never do X, you will immediately activate a timeline where you'll be sent on a karmic pathway to experience, oh, actually, I apologize for having judged you, since I'm no better. Like, the universe may reveal that to you and bring you back to that state of consciousness and oneness of the law of one. And therefore, because of that, it's so important to do this alchemical work of giving full grace and compassion to yourself in unconditional love for yourself. It elevates you from the inside out in an alchemical activation. What many can feel on the pathway to that unconditional love is a sacral rage in the room of anger and fire. That Leo energy is there right now. Like, I'm so mad that I believed in so much that isn't true for such a long time. Why? Whatever that may be coming out. In releasing and shedding programming and understanding that so many things that you have believed, or the lifestyle that you've been leading and living, and energies you've been surrounding yourself with, and so on choices that you've made as well, we're actually going against the authenticity, the truth of who you are, your wholeness, and a sense of reverence and respect for and honoring of your divinity, whether you feel that someone else has not valued or appreciated you, being a reflection perhaps of how you have downplayed yourself in not expecting better of yourself and for yourself, and so on. It's following on from the energy of the self-respect. And as you activate that, the fiery energy of anger can be the alchemical pathway and portal to rising in an unconditional love within you. And it's a sign when you get mad that you're declaring, I'm worthy and deserving of more. And I see it and I embrace it and I accept it and I give love to it. Then you have made a massive quantum leap. Massive, massive, massive in elevating yourself from the inside. And then you see the reflection in your timeline jump in your reality. And that truly does bring in your next level. So tribe and connection through your authentic rising of unconditional love within you. You see more magic and love and possibilities, and your dreams reflected back to you. It's so important. I had said this to someone this morning, not to hold too tightly to expected outcomes of, if I do this, then this will happen. And if I go this way, then I expect that perhaps this can happen. You can limit yourself through doing that, rather than being in a state of aliveness. And I'm so happy I get to be here and get to do that, and being in presence and joy in the moment, allowing an openness of what is magnetically drawn to me for my highest good and joy, then you're open to what the universe wants to bring to you as the outcome, rather than your potential ego monkey mind limitation of what it is that you may prefer, leading you perhaps to become disappointed or frustrated if things do not line up with your version of what you expect them to be. So you can expect the very best for you without it being absolutely specific, being open to the magic of the mystery of the divine. And that is full trust and surrender. Something that had come out because we were talking about Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, and so family, also Mary. This morning we were talking about how towards the end in the story of Jesus, everyone knows through the religious storytelling that he gave himself over in sacrificing, we'll say, sacrificing his life for the greater good, so that there will be this understanding of heaven and earth and the resurrection and this trust and faith in God, and how Christ consciousness is essentially the activation of light within. It is that Kundalini energy rising up within us, that we are in this altered state of higher consciousness and awareness of the truth of the fullness of who we are as having the God force within us, and how it is not something outside of us. Religion is believing in the fear of, if you don't do something, there being consequences, or fear or shame and worry and all of these lower vibrational experiences. Whereas spirituality is more knowing that you have been there through going through the dark to activate the light, and that being the portal and the pathway to igniting your remembrance and the activation of that Christ consciousness awakening within you that we all have access to. Coming back to the story, what I had said, what was expressed through me, and I was intending to channel energy of Mary and angels and ancestors of the highest light for what may come through in that transmission. And my hands, my arms got full goosebumps and were shaking as I said this, when he, from the story, was on the cross and about to die. What was happening when he had said this phrase of "forgive them, for they know not what they do," in looking at states of consciousness and awareness and compassion for how, as you may elevate your consciousness, you may have energies in your reality that may not hold your truth or see your perspective or vision or understand your vision and mission, and how it's not necessarily to say that you have a higher consciousness, yet there's differing truth. There's one person's truth, another person's truth, who has the ultimate absolute truth. There's so many different lenses of the world in which how we can look at things. So we all have our unique perspective, and we all have our own lens, and it's evolving if we're choosing that to expand in consciousness and awareness as well. Yet in that saying, forgive them for they know that what they do, it's bringing light to the idea of not being in truth, because you are not being in the way of love, and that love is the way of truth, that truth is love. That's what it seems to mean for me. That's the resonance for me. Take it as a resonance for you. And the struggle there towards the end, where he's saying that and he's in fear, in surrendering, was the doubting certainty towards the end, as the humanity and the egoic need to hold on, or to fall into fear at the final moment when you're about to make the breakthrough. And how it seems to be a metaphor for that when you're about to break through or go to a new level in expanding in consciousness or a higher frequency, you may feel pulled into chaos somehow, or confusion or doubt, or question yourself. And that can be when you fall out of the energy of certainty and conviction and full trust and surrender, which may not always feel an easy, comfortable, or pleasant process. As things fall away, as you may feel more isolated, as you may feel more alone on your journey, as it may feel that you're more uncomfortable within you in your own energy as you're stretched into a new, more evolved version of you and who you are becoming and transcending into. And then that situation obviously is quite profound as you're giving over the ego fully in the surrender of your body. So that is huge. But this idea of questioning your certainty can be what takes you out of alignment and off your path. And there's the call today, and there's just this rising divine feminine energy of following the way of love, to know that love is truth and love is certain, that love is the unifying force, that your love within you is absolutely certain. And how much do you trust it comes to me as a question. Do you trust your own ability to love and honor yourself and your own energy, and to let that authentic expression elevate you to new levels in your creativity and how you show up and add and contribute value to the world? How you can ignite and inspire creativity, tapping into intuition, creating meditation circles with others, and so on, to honor and give reverence to that connection, and how that can truly bring a next level expansion in your life, and that liberation in love. And also, what did come out this morning in sessions is that also being not only a softness and a tenderness and a gentleness and the divine femininity of nurturing and care and that motherly nature, it can also be a ferocious love. It can also be a protective love. It can also be a defend and protect your interests and your territory and your energy, like a lioness protecting your cubs. And how the divine feminine, for me, I need to speak on this. It's not about how Mary walked next to Jesus. Jesus walked next to Mary. That she was the high priestess and had actually initiated him into priesthood. That had come through for me as a message before. And in embodying that divine feminine is a queen code activation of energy of the goddess. And it's not about being equals, but about honoring her as a leader herself. And that the divine feminine energy is also a leadership energy. It's not about rising to equality, it's about igniting ownership of spiritual sovereignty in fullness and wholeness, as she also can stand alone. Oof, it was quite potent as an energy. And okay, so other cards here are Heaven and Earth. Lemuria comes out again, and you're being asked to get curious about where you may be inspired to travel to journey to, whether that is within in meditation or to visit a sacred sacred place that may be calling you to activate energy or divine codes of remembrance within your energy at this time, whether that is perhaps to the south of France, where she carried out a lot of work herself, to Hawaii, to Egypt, or for Lemurian codes that you may feel at this time, the activation of remembering so Lemurian codes or Atlantis codes, or having lived previous lifetimes in those places and being part of perhaps the fall of Atlantis, or that Lemurian energy being a sense of the longing for returning home, which is in you, in your own heart. And that is the invitation of connecting back to the way of love. But to connect inwards with your creativity, I'd like you to join me in a mini guided meditation, which is impromptu. We're not quite planning on doing, and just feeling that come to me right here, right now. If you'd like to, I'd like to invite you to place a hand over your heart and also over your sacral chakra, or in room your lower abdomen. And to breathe in 3 deep belly breaths into the belly, letting the belly expand like a balloon. Holding the energy in and just being present to that energy going around your body. That this is not just about the air that you breathe in, but also life force energy circulating around your body, and allowing a slow, gentle exhale that you breathe out for as long as you possibly can, very naturally, allowing your belly to deflate back down. And when you're ready and you feel cold, follow your own breath, breathing in deeply again, allowing the belly energy to expand again. Holding the breath for a while, feeling that energy circulate around through your body, visualizing and imagining the state that you want to be holding. If it's more emboldened, it's safety, it's security, it's calm, it's peace, it's presence, it's aliveness. Breathing out and exhaling slowly through the mouth, letting that energy dissipate and leave. And you can imagine releasing, and letting go of any density of anything that you no longer want to carry or to hold. Breathing in again into your belly, allowing it to expand, feeling ignited, feeling grateful and appreciation for that receptivity of abundance, of bliss, of harmony, of expansion in your body. Slowly breathing out with the full knowing and certainty that there's plenty more air and that you're going to have the opportunity to breathe in again. And that is a privilege, and you're so grateful. Breathing out and releasing and letting go. Follow me again. Breathing back in deeply into the belly area, feeling full presence and appreciation and gratitude for the beautiful energy that you're holding within you. And now, willingly, I choose to release everything that is no longer mine to carry, breathing out even more strongly through your mouth, releasing and intending to shed and to let go and release all that is no longer mine to carry. Releasing, 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 releasing. You may wish to do that again one more time, breathing in full gratitude, awareness, and presence, holding that energy within you, feeling ignited and activated in aliveness and wonder and curiosity and joy and thankfulness. And breathing out, I let go of everything that is no longer me or true or mine to carry. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Bringing to your awareness that through the womb space, you carried the emotional memory and experiences of your mother and your grandmother and generations before through that lived experience and memory. I'd like you to hold energy of compassion for all experiences that your mother may have lived through carrying you in the womb. Please give yourself extra gentleness and tenderness if this is delicate for you right here, right now. Holding yourself with compassion and grace. I'd like you to call in energies of Archangel Michael to say, I cut free any ties, any cords, none of God's desire, and remove any emotional attachment to energies, traumas, or woundings, stories and narratives that are no longer mine to carry, that were never mine, and I liberate and free myself to be in my spiritual sovereignty. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Continue breathing into the belly. Be present with the awareness of that, with the sensation of that, what might arise for you. And breathe in and feel in and receive and say or intone. I call all my own energy back to me. I return and recalibrate and remember my abundant natural state of wholeness in the authentic truth of who I am. I am grateful and I embrace my creative power of expression in fullness, free and liberated in spiritual sovereignty. Truth is what I am, Sat Nam. I return to wholeness in my being, in full unconditional love, acceptance, abundance, truth, beauty, harmony, and joy. I am here to follow the way of the heart and the way of love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Just breathing that in, letting the energy of that settle into your body. Witnessing and observing any sensations that arise, holding yourself with grace and tenderness and softness and compassion. Any fiery energy can be alchemized within you in presence, bringing you back into a greater love and compassion within your own energy. Giving grace and gratitude and thankfulness for right where you are, right here, right now, as you continue to move forward on your evolutionary journey in greater love and truth and beauty and harmony within your energy and in your reality. Your spiritual sovereignty is yours to claim. It is here and available to you. You're divinely protected, provided for, safe, nourished, loved, adored, cherished. All your needs are met right here, right now. It's a privilege to remember, and we are so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. You can return to this video at any point if you want to listen to that again or to be with the sensation of that, to journal on it, to reflect on what may come up for you. I'm guided to share a story of remote viewing that I had done some years, quite a few years ago now, in how I had the remembrance of being in my mother's womb. And they say that you can only remember so far back in terms of human form. And let's look at pretty possible truths, which are that you can recall previous lifetimes, and certainly have done past regressions with clients of mine in which they could recall being in leadership roles and positions in previous lifetimes, in past lives. If you've seen anything on Brian Weiss and on his past life work, it's been incredible and profound. Anyway, I don't question that myself. I was recounting to my mother how I could hold the memory of traumas that she experienced while pregnant with me. She underwent difficult experiences, and how in this memory I was not only within her energy, but I could also remote view as being outside of her and witnessing the room. And I was able to share information such as the positioning of furniture and the colors of things and where she was and what was happening in the dynamic in the conversation that I could hear, to which her jaw dropped to the floor and she said, how could you possibly know that? How could you know that the bed was there and that this was going on? We all have psychic abilities and gifts, and this remembrance in me was activated in how it gave me awareness of how traumas and wounds had been passed through and how I was carrying the traumas of my mother coming into the world, which is the trauma for every baby anyway, in being born. And we can carry these generational things. And it's when we can bring awareness to it or know it or release them, we return back into the fullness of ourselves in our own energy, liberated and free and expansive, able to follow our own authentic truth in a greater lightness, no longer carrying what is not ours to carry, while also holding grace and compassion for the existence of these cycles that were also passed down from the grandmother to the mother, the great-grandmother to the grandmother, and so on, going back generations, and how we're even connected to the grandmother also, and further on, that this is all being passed down until you have awareness and you become the cycle breaker simply through awareness and knowing and the alchemy and through feeling the emotions and also shedding and releasing and purging and letting go of what is not yours. So that was the point of that meditative experience. I'd say in tribute and honor to the Mary, which is the sacral womb energy and bringing back a sense of fertility and aliveness and abundance and creative power in the way of love, and that being through unconditional love for yourself. And we can be clouded by criticisms or woundings or pain and shadow aspects that may have been carried over by others that are residual in our own energy, or holding us back somehow by truly being an authentic expression if we're not able to clearly see what is actually ours and what is not, what we can separate from and individuate from. Since as a baby, the umbilical cord is cut and we are physically separated from the mother, yet there's another energetic cord that remains attached until the child chooses to individuate from the mother later on in life, in their 20s or 30s or 40s, and when they become aware or may undergo spiritual awakening and choose to separate from the mother for the purpose of healing, for alchemy, and perhaps intending to have healing across the family lineage and wanting harmony to be restored and wanting there to be a unity and togetherness again. And whether or not this outcome is possible is dependent on many factors. And it also requires detachment. It requires detachment from wanting a specific outcome by honoring your own energy and your own unconditional love. Let me know if that's resonating for any of you at this time. Sending you love if you feel that this has been a delicate process for you, or you're experiencing that individuation, perhaps in no contact with the family member at this time, while you navigate more of your own healing journey and embodying higher frequencies and higher consciousness, in which the frequency mismatch causes some kind of dissonance where certain energies will not be in your reality anymore. Certain relationships cannot continue when you have done so much inner transformational work. It can be difficult to maintain certain dynamics, and you may feel called to completely release yourself from things out of your own self-love by not lowering or dimming your light or people pleasing somehow in order to keep a relationship in your reality that may not have the capacity to evolve with you. Please making the spiritual confirmation there, take it as it resonates for you. Yet your unconditional love does require you to be in devotion, as the Mary Magdalene energy demonstrated, in devotion to your divine partnership, in devotion to the God force creative power within you, is in what you're creating in your state of consciousness, what you're creating in your frequency, what you're pouring into to expand, to be part of the collective vision and mission, to raise vibrations, to be part of sharing your love. And it may be, I'm getting this analogy again of this test that people can be asked about. And I don't know if you've seen this as an experiment, or people get asked, what would you do if you've got like two trains on a track and one train is going to possibly, this is quite horrendous to think of, is going to run over one person, or it goes the other way, it's going to run over so many more. Like, which would you choose? I mean, obviously the ideal thing is to like just get out of it and have to make that choice. And sometimes for the higher purpose, it's necessary to move away from a certain relational dynamic if it means that you can maintain a harmonious frequency state, so that you can pour into something that serves something bigger beyond you. That is the analogy that I wanted to give without there being any kind of train wreck. Okay. as it resonates for you. So I wanted to come on and share these messages today about the womb energy, about clearing yourself from anything that may be residual there, of liberating yourself in your authentic truth and harmony, peace, beauty, and love, in committing yourself devotionally to your creative process, allowing that to be the pathway to greater abundance and prosperity and harmony, authentic magic and connection, connecting more with your soul tribe, and going to and visiting, whether it's within or in your reality, sacred sites or places that ignite more aliveness within you, because your aliveness truly is your portal to everything that you acquire as your heaven on earth. If you'd like to know more about my book, which is coming really, really soon, I'm so excited to share more. You can drop me a comment and email to get on the wait list. I'll update you here as well. There's a lot on emotional self-mastery, aligning with higher frequencies, with some personal storytelling that I have from experiences that I lived through myself or through clients that I've worked with a lot of mantras for how you can truly alchemize things when you've fallen into some negative thinking or a low vibrational state, so that you can become clearer in your energy again, like clearer in your energy field, so you can feel activated in that wholeness and allow that resonance to match you, bringing you more of what is blissful, abundant, harmonious, bringing you joy, satisfaction, peace, ease, that you're in ease, which is this is really the way this video wants to end, that it becomes less about your doing and more about being in your truth and your being and your radiance and it being easier. And yes, that may stretch you into new discomfort zones as you just allow yourself to be more you. Then you start to think, can it really be that easy? And it can make you uncomfortable. Yet it becomes easy with more refinement and practice. And it just gets to simply being you and receiving and monetizing on that and heaven. Again, thank you so much for listening, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. If you'd like to step into empowerment coaching, energy healing sessions, or to receive activations for that frequency upgrade from the inside out, this is truly what this is, living from the inside out and following your unique inner leadership. Lots of love, take good care of you, and see you in the next one.